Okay, Algebra 10. I'm posting this assignment on factoring using all the different methods. And to go with the Khan Academy videos I'm going to be dropping for you guys, I'm also just going to work a couple of examples. So the first part that's due is from page 5. And on page 5, part B, there it is right there, 27y squared plus 18y. Everything on page 5 is greatest common factor. So I'm going to look at both of these two terms, and I'm going to try to pull out what's greatest that goes into both of those. So from the 27 and the 18, I know from my math facts that 9 goes into both 27 and 18 through multiplication. Now I have y squared and y. They both have at least one y. So that 9y is my greatest common factor. Now to factor completely, I want to write what's left of my original expression once I take out my 9 and my y. So if I take a 9 out of 27, 27 is 9 times 3. So if I take the 9 out, I'm left with the 3. Now there's two y's right there. One's being taken out, so I'm left with 1. That's the first term. Plus, now the 18, I'm taking out a 9, so what do I multiply 9 by to get 18? The answer is 2. And there's no y left here because there's only 1 originally, and it came to the outside. So there's part B, factored entirely. All right, now jump into page 11, problem number 1. This is a quadratic trinomial of the form x squared plus something times x plus something. If something like this is factorable, it'll be x plus or minus something times x plus or minus something else. It'll look like that factored, okay? Those two numbers that go, the two numbers I'm going to fill in here and here, they have to multiply to whatever c is and add to whatever my b is. So in this case, they have to multiply to 4 and add to negative 5. Well, what multiplies to 4 is 2 times 2 and 4 times 1. And because that's a negative 5, if I make the 4 and the 1 both negative, there it is. So it's x minus 4 and x minus 1. If you put the minus 1 here and the minus 4 here, you're still okay. One thing a lot of students are doing on last week's assignment is they're putting little x's right in between there. The x is to show multiplication, but it's confusing because there's x's here. If you put an x in there to show multiplication, a person reading it might think that it's another factor, another x in there. Okay, going on now to number 17, part number 1. This is a difference of squares, something squared minus something squared. In this case, it's a squared minus 7 squared. If something is a difference of squares, it'll factor to the two things that are squared added and subtracted. There it is right there. That factors to that. And there'll be some Khan Academy videos to go over with that too. This one's a little bit more complicated because it has a coefficient. It has 4 with the x squared. In order for difference of squares to work, so this still has to be squared. So what's squared to give me 4? That's 2. So that'd be 2 and the x that's squared right there, plus what's squared to give me 25. Okay, and my other factor will be the same thing, except this time subtracted. Okay, so that's what we know so far. I think I'm going to end this video now and dedicate a second video to this last one right here.